Welcome, ladies. We are so excited to meet you upon your arrival to Israel and are looking forward to celebrating with you both Yom הזיכרון and Yom Ha'atzmaut, or in English, Memorial Day and Independence Day. So, first I would like to introduce myself. My name is Orly Tesler and I am a Jwrp ambassador in Israel. I first participated on the trip last October and have been active ever since. I was born and raised in New York and immigrated to Israel after meeting my husband Aryeh. We have 4 children, 2 of them who are serving in the army right now. My husband Aryeh is a former brigadier general. My son Amit is a commanding platoon officer in the paratroopers, and my daughter Lior is an officer for new recruits on the Gazan border. Being a military wife, married to a military man who served for over 30 years in the army is one thing, but I can tell you that it's much more difficult to be a mother of soldiers than to be a wife of a brigadier general. In Israel, Memorial Day starts a day prior to the actual day. You can already hear the songs of war and the songs of hope on the radio. The TV broadcasts the stories of our fallen heroes, and without even wanting to, we get to know so well who the soldier was, what he did in the army, how he died. The young children, as early as nursery school, speak and look at pictures of our brave heroes who lost their lives to protect their homeland. The culture of grieving and remembering is ingrained here at a very early age. If you get on a bus or a taxi, you will notice the tears in the eyes of the driver. At the supermarket, bank, mall, or on the street, you will see the pain on the faces of the people. Because in Israel, every single person had a friend, a neighbor, a parent, a grandparent, an uncle, a cousin, a brother, or comrade that was killed or injured in one of Israel's many wars. Sadly enough, it's something that unites us, kind of strengthens us. Some people will tell you that we don't need this day to remind us because we are constantly being reminded, whether it be by the dedication of a park or a school, or a name of a street that has been named after a soldier from that city or town. But it is on this day, this very sad, sad day, that everybody in Israel comes together to hug the families and friends that those soldiers left behind. And the siren, when the siren goes off at 8 p.m. the eve of Memorial Day, and then at 11 a.m. the following morning, you can feel it vibrating deep in your heart. That siren lasts for 2 minutes as everyone bows their heads to remember the fallen. At 1 p.m. the same day, the ceremonies continue and we go on to remember the hundreds of civilians that were killed in terror attacks. On the highways, on the streets, all cars come to full stop. Passengers step out of their cars, stand with their heads bowed, and pay respect to more than 23,000 of Israel's fallen soldiers. Every year for the past 10 years, since the Second Lebanon War, I arrive to the military cemetery in Haifa on Yom הזיכרון and pay my respects to Sergeant Yiftach Schreier, Air Force Lieutenant Nir Lakrif, Lone Soldier Sergeant Max Steinberg. I do this because after the Second Lebanon War, my friend and neighbor formed an organization for bereaved families. I volunteered there for many years. Therefore, I have a deep connection to many of the over 1,000 families who unfortunately joined this group. And every year, as I enter the military cemetery and see the beautiful flowers placed neatly on every single one of the thousands of graves there, I stop for a minute and say to myself, look at these beautiful gardens filled with such colorful, beautiful, blooming flowers. And then, as I hold back my tears, I say to myself that it's not only the beautiful flowers, it's our country, it's our people, our soldiers, the families that are so colorful and beautiful. You can only feel proud. Proud to see that it is these young men and women who sacrifice their lives to protect the people of their country. They come from different parts of the world, bringing their unique culture and traditions. But at the end of the day, they all have one mission, and that is to protect their homeland. If you speak to any one of these beautiful, colorful, and blooming soldiers as they stand alongside the graves of their friends or comrades about their current service or their past army service or their upcoming army service, I can bet you that each one will raise their heads up high and be proud to serve their country. These are the bright, beautiful, blooming flowers of Israel. And it is at these moments where, as an Israeli mother of soldiers, I think about my son Amit, who has to deal with all of the responsibility of training and protecting his soldiers. And I think about him especially on this day, how hurt and sad he must be after losing so many of his soldiers during the last war of Tzuk Eitan. And although he is grown and mature and strong and brave and an officer in the Israeli army, he is still my son, and I am still his mother. And I love when he comes home on Fridays after 3 weeks on the field, and I prepare his favorite dish and do tons of laundry, and the house is full of life because all his friends come to visit. Here is where being an Israeli mother of a soldier is different than being just an Israeli mother. As the sun sets and we pay tribute to those who fell in battle, the heavy mood slowly begins to lift as Israelis emerge from the somber day to gradually celebrating Israel's birthday. Everyone dresses in blue and white, and stages at parks, schools, community centers suddenly are filled with a variety of entertainment, folk dancing, food, fireworks, all night-long celebrations. The whole country is engaging in parties and dancing, and throughout the country there's a huge sense of pride and belonging. And the flag, our beautiful flag, you can see that flag on every house, on every car, school, store, on roads. Here again is where I feel so proud. Proud of our people, our land, our accomplishments. And as the next day continues with barbecues at every park, beach, at Israeli home, right after a somber Memorial Day, there is always a feeling of mixed emotions that accompany us. A feeling of joy and sadness, appreciation and remembrance, and above all, amazement. Amazement that Israel has become what it is today. Am Yisrael Chai and Chag Sameach.